Audi Quattro, BMW xDrive, Mercedes 4MATIC. You've heard the names, right? They're iconic in the all-wheel drive world. So let's just dive right in, because honestly, what's going on behind those fancy badges is a pretty fascinating battle of engineering.
So, what's the deal? Are these just clever marketing terms for pretty much the same thing? It's a fair question, and one a lot of folks ask. And the simple answer is no way, not even close. Look, all-wheel drive just means all four wheels can get power. But how they get it, when they get it, and how much power they get, well, that's where the real story begins.
And really, that's because it's not just about all-wheel drive. It's about brand DNA. We're not doing some boring spec sheet comparison here. We are talking about deeply held company philosophies, a real clash of engineering identities that's literally baked right into the cars themselves.
All right, here's our game plan. We'll start with the battleground itself. Then we'll dive into Audi's Quattro universe. After that, we'll check out BMW's xDrive philosophy, and then Mercedes' 4MATIC family. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with the final drive.
Okay, first up, Audi's Quattro universe. I mean, these are the guys who really made all-wheel drive a household name in performance cars, right? But here's the thing that a lot of people don't get. Quattro isn't just one system. Oh no, it's a whole universe of them.
That's right, there are basically 4 distinct flavors of Quattro, and which one you get really depends on the kind of car it is. You've got the classic, legendary Torsen-based Quattro for cars with longitudinal engines. Then there's the newer, more efficient Quattro Ultra, also for longitudinal engines. For transverse engines, they use a Haldex-based system. And then for the really wild stuff, like the R8, there's a special performance Quattro.
So let's start with the absolute legend, Torsen. The name itself is a clue. It's short for torque sensing, and that is exactly what it does. At its core is this brilliant, purely mechanical center differential. We're talking no electronics, no computer telling it what to do, no clutches to wear out. It's just physics, plain and simple. Okay, so how does it work? It's genius. Imagine your rear wheels hit a patch of ice, right? They start spinning way faster than the front ones. Well, inside that Torsen diff, a set of special worm gears immediately resist that difference in speed. That resistance creates a load, and that load mechanically, and I mean instantly, shoves torque across the gear set to the front wheels, the ones that still have grip. It's just this beautiful, elegant, instantaneous reaction.
But of course, the world moves on, and suddenly fuel efficiency became the name of the game. And that's why Audi developed Quattro Ultra. And boy, is it different. You can see it right here. Torsen is full-time AWD. It's always on. It's mechanical. Ultra? That's an on-demand system. It uses a couple of electronic clutches, and to save gas, it defaults to front-wheel drive. It's a complete philosophical shift, moving from pure mechanical reaction to smart electronic prediction.
And that prediction is ridiculously fast. I mean, the system is constantly watching everything. Your steering angle, how hard you're on the gas, you name it, hundreds of times a second. It can actually predict wheel slip and engage the all-wheel drive in less than 250 milliseconds. That's so fast, it often kicks in before your tires even have a chance to spin. Wild.
Okay, so now let's head over to Munich and talk about BMW, because their philosophy is completely different. For them, it's all about one thing, being the ultimate driving machine. So any all-wheel drive system they make cannot mess with that core identity. And their solution to that puzzle? It's called xDrive.
And this donut chart, well, it just perfectly sums up their whole approach. In most of their cars, the default power split is 40% to the front and 60% to the rear. It's rear-biased from the get-go. And why? So it feels like a classic, fun, rear-wheel drive BMW, just with a whole lot more grip when you need it.
So the magic really happens in the transfer case. There's an electronically controlled multi-plate clutch in there, just waiting. The second it detects slip, that clutch engages and smoothly sends more power up front. But, and this is the really cool part, it can also completely open up, sending almost 100% of the power to the rear. That's how it preserves that perfect rear-wheel drive balance that BMW is famous for.
Now, of course, for their smaller cars, the ones with transverse engines, BMW uses a totally different system. It's much more like the Haldex-style setups we see elsewhere, where it's mainly front-wheel drive and only engages the rear when things get slippery. For those cars, the focus really shifts from pure driving dynamics to just solid, all-weather safety and stability.
And that brings us to our third contender, Mercedes-Benz and their 4MATIC family. If Audi is the pioneer with a whole universe of options, and BMW is the purist obsessed with driving feel, then Mercedes, well, they're the versatile pragmatist. They build a huge range of systems to fit their incredibly diverse lineup of cars.
And I mean,
Just look at this spectrum. They've got front-wheel drive-based systems for their smaller cars. They've got rear-wheel drive-based variable systems for the big sedans and SUVs. And then they have the absolutely bonkers 4MATIC Plus for the AMG models. We're talking stuff with drift mode. But then there's the legend.
And then there is the G-Wagen. Look, it might wear the same 4MATIC badge, but its drivetrain is a totally different beast. It's a throwback, a tribute to pure, old-school, uncompromising mechanical engineering. So what makes it a legend? It really comes down to 3 little buttons on the dash. First, you can lock the center differential. That forces the front and rear axles to spin at the exact same speed. Then you can lock the rear differential, forcing both rear wheels to turn together. And finally, if you're in some really serious trouble, you can lock the front differential too. There's a reason this thing is considered an unstoppable off-road icon. All right, so let's bring this all home for the final drive. As you've probably figured out by now, choosing between Quattro, xDrive, and 4MATIC, it isn't about picking the best spec off a piece of paper. It's really about choosing an entire engineering philosophy. And this table just nails it. With Audi, you're choosing between that classic mechanical purity or hyper-modern predictive efficiency. With BMW, you're voting for rear drive dynamics and pure driver engagement. And with Mercedes, you're opting for adaptable stability and a kind of refined, confident comfort. They're all just 3 totally different answers to the exact same question. But you know, in the end, that's the one thing that unites all of them. They take completely different roads to get there, whether it's mechanical gears, smart clutches, or rear bias setups, but they're all built for one purpose: to keep you moving and to keep you safe, no matter what the road throws at you.
And that leaves us with one last big question. As we head into this crazy future of electric, super intelligent cars, which of these philosophies is going to win out? Is it going to be the raw mechanical purity, the soul of a system like Torsen? Or is it going to be the lightning-fast predictive intelligence, the brains of systems like Quattro Ultra? It's definitely something to think about the next time you see one of those badges driving by.